what to do, cause I don't wanna lose myself. It'd be so easy if I didn't know better. You may never know the power you hold. This hard exterior could fall apart as well. No, even you won't bring me to myself. Keep saying you can barely take me. Oh, if you just admit it to yourself, then quit it, 'cause it's gone on for too long. Now's the time for you to recognize just what you do. If you continue to pursue, you better know what you're getting into. I can't just do this once. Now when it comes to you, this can't just be for fun. The final decider, the destiny maker. If I tell you who the effect is, we may never know the power we hold in our love exterior. Fall off as well. Oh, even you won't break to myself. Keep saying you can barely take me. Oh, if you just admit it to yourself, then quit it, 'cause it's gone on for too long. Oh, even you won't break it to myself. Keep saying you can barely take me. Oh, if you just admit it to yourself, then quit it, 'cause it's gone on for too long.
Aw, snap. Welcome to another episode of Bundy the Podcast, the only podcast on YouTube and the entire internet. Welcome. This is the show where we interview bands and musicians and artists from all over our Long Beach, LA, wherever the fuck we can get them. So welcome to another episode. This time we have Michael Malinowski here. But before we jump to him, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/BundyLBC. These are the sweet, sweetie babies who enable us to be able to keep the lights on and get more guests in and to keep our equipment sharp and ready to go. So thank you so much to them. Thank you to Allison, Anthony, Brenda, Donut Sounds Records, Darian, Frederico, George, Gustavo, Jairo, Julio, Manny, Marvin, Miguel, Paul, and Shane. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to help contribute to the show, you can head over to patreon.com/BundyLBC. Make sure you like and subscribe and share if you like what we're doing. And yeah, that's my whole intro. How are you? I'm Nani. And behind the microphone over here and behind doing all the camera work, that's JB. What's up, JB?
What's up?
How are you?
Good, good.
How was your week?
It's going.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have a cool science fact for us?
I do. So there's apparently a kind of moth that when it comes out of its cocoon, it doesn't have a mouth. And so it lives long enough to mate, and then it dies of starvation in a week.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that was a human? Like you just come out just long enough to get a boner, and then
that would suck.
Then you're dead. That'd be an interesting short. How long do they live? Did they say?
A week after the.
A week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a hard time to find a lever.
Yeah.
If you're a human, especially. Yeah. Anyways, Michael Malinowski, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for making it. I know that you braved the Orange County to Long Beach traffic to get here. And I appreciate it. And I know I'm just going to give you a quick shout out because you wanted to eat a sandwich when you got here. And I was like, no, we're going live. You don't got time for that.
And good. I don't need it.
What kind of sandwich was it?
It was a turkey avocado.
Ooh, turkey. You try to be a little healthy?
I try.
Are you a healthy guy?
I am a healthy guy.
Yeah. You work out and stuff?
I do. That's how we're going to start it. Yeah, I do work out.
Yeah.
I take pride in eating healthy and exercise and taking care of your body.
I'm an extremely unhealthy person.
I feel like most musicians, I think I'm the opposite of most musicians.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, I care about everything.
I would go even further than that. Just say most Americans. Most Americans are very unhealthy.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what? Because we weren't really taught health in school. You know?
That's true.
For me in public school, like they give us gym or whatever, and then you just like run around in a circle, and it's like they're just daycaring you for an hour.
It's true. I still remember I took health in 9th grade. and it was taught by a super, super overweight woman.
Yeah.
With really ridiculously fake purple eyebrows.
Wow. Mine was also an overweight woman. Yes. And once she told us that when you have sex, the penis doesn't even go all the way into the vagina. It only goes about halfway through. And then I got older.
Is
and
what
the
teacher told you?
Yeah. And then I was, I didn't know. I didn't have sex in high school. It wasn't until later on. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What the fuck was she teaching us? She even went.
It's just her own life experiences.
Apparently, yeah. She's a very shallow vagina. But dude, I remember all the homie guys would try to fuck with her, and they'd be like, "Hey, teacher," I forgot her name. Would you ever do tequila shots? And she was like, "Oh yeah, I love tequila shots. When you do the lime and the salt on your hand and you lick it off your hand." And I'm just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? We're not, freshmen in high school or whatever." But
no boundaries.
Yeah, so you try to stay fit. Is the point.
Yeah, dude, you got to take. I guess the responsible responses. Yeah, I mean, I take care of my body. I care about drumming.
You're
So
a
it's
drummer. That's your trade. That's why you're
thing.
here, because you're a musician, plays drums in a whole bunch of projects, which we're gonna get into.
Sure.
But you gotta stay fit for that, especially if you want to play, tight and fast.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you're trying to take whatever you do seriously, then you have to have a good mindset. Good,
They say the same thing with singers, that you gotta eat healthy so that your throat, that you don't they say don't drink milk or whatever. Don't drink milk before performance. Don't drink soda.
That just sounds like a good idea to not drink that.
Yeah,
before
that's true. I'm not really a milk guy.
I don't eat dairy
at all.
Yeah, at all.
Okay.
Maybe we'll get into that. There's a lot of things.
Is it because you're lactose intolerant, or just because you have a strict? Oh, you are lactose intolerant.
I am. Yeah.
Okay. I found out that I'm gluten intolerant, and then I saw an article. Do you know Arturo?
Huh?
Arturo.
Who?
He used to be in a Fathers and Sons band.
What's his last name?
Enciso, I think.
A different Arturo.
Anyways, sorry. He has bread. He makes bread now for a living. He makes homemade fucking awesome bread, and he posted an article today about you're not really what the fuck is it? Gluten intolerant. You're glucosate or something intolerant. There's some chemical they put on bread, on wheat and stuff that makes it so that we're all really unhealthy.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of it, and actually that's the interesting thing, because most of it, it's more a U.S. thing. If you go to Europe, they don't use that. But the reason that most, and people can fact check it, the reason that most people are not eating gluten is such a big thing right now is that it's not that gluten itself is a problem for most people, it's all the pesticides they put on it. Because it's if you look at 50 years ago, there were just so many less people in the U.S. and it's it was fine because it wasn't mass produced as much. Now it's mass produced so much.
We have to make a lot more food now.
Yeah, and so there's so many more pesticides put on it. So it's but if you go to Europe and stuff like that, obviously even there's still a lot of people, they just don't mass produce it the same way, so they don't use the same pesticides.
You into Tool? The band Tool?
I do like Tool.
Yeah, Tool.
I was am I wearing a shirt?
No. I'm asking because the guy Maynard, he owns a winery, but he also makes pasta and stuff. And he went on Joe Rogan. He was talking about all that shit, how bad pasta is. And if you go to Italy, you can eat a giant bowl of pasta and feel fucking awesome.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, but here, you eat a bowl of pasta, you feel like you got to take a nap.
Well, true. And actually, okay, it's funny you bring up Tool and Maynard. So, fun fact. So that winery, I've been to his winery. It's in a town called Jerome, Arizona. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, super cool art town in the mountains in Arizona. Near Sedona, maybe? I might be messing that up. My aunt and uncle used to live in that town.
Oh,
they lived down the street from Maynard.
Nice.
And they used to walk by his house all the time.
Okay. Did they know who he was?
I mean, they knew who he was because he's pretty famous, and
right.
but he doesn't you can't really see into obviously set it up.
Sure,
you can't really see into his place.
Creep into his house, really.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't want that, but they would be places. They would walk past his house all the time. So I visited there a few times, and there'd be we drove past his house.
Yeah,
and
never got to meet him though, did you?
No, went to the winery, and then the other part that's kind of funny is he owns two things there, or two buildings. One is the winery, and then literally down the street, it's just the upper. It's 2 floors. The upper part is just Maynard related memorabilia.
Okay.
I guess it's all Tool, A Perfect Circle, Pucifer,
sure,
all that kind of shirts and merch. And then the bottom part is a record store record shop / barber shop.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I feel it was cool to see nobody was getting a haircut when I was there, but it's like a bunch of like the barber chairs set up.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of records for sale.
I love that when musicians get to a certain level where they're able to like just open whatever the fuck they want. You know, like the guy from Social
Wish I could do
Distortion
that.
opened up the Pike here in Long Beach.
Oh, is he the one?
Yeah.
Dude, so many things just clicked right now. That makes so much sense. That's why this fucking logo.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
this all makes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you're,
that all makes sense.
so when you're, that's like what a great, because you know, I feel like as a creative person, you have a lot of different outlets that you want to explore, but you don't necessarily have the time or the money, especially to do it. But once you get to that certain level, where it's like you sold millions of records. What do you do with all this money? Well, you know what? I'm gonna open a fucking record store / barber fucking place. That sounds awesome. You should go there and get a haircut. Then you can be like, I got a haircut by the guy from Tools, technically.
Technically. That'd be cool. Other fun fact with that, though, in that same town, do you know Primus?
Yeah. Les Claypool.
Les Claypool does not live there. Tim Alexander, the drummer, original drummer of Primus, used to live there, too.
You think they jam? They must jam.
I don't know.
Right?
I know that they were friends because I think Tim actually got Maynard to move out there. I think he was living there, and he was like, dude, you got to check out this art town.
Oh, I see.
And my aunt and uncle have met Tim Alexander a bunch of times because he would like walk his dog past their house.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
How cool that must be to like meet some famous dude just walking his dog. Hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
You know? So anyways, you're a drummer.
Yes.
You do drummings for
Sometimes.
a lot of projects. Why don't you tell us about it? Why don't you tell us the cool shit that you do?
Okay. Is it cool? I don't know. I just do it.
I think it's rad.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's cool. Where do I start? Like what I'm doing right now? What I've done?
Well, let's
I've
talk
coming
about
up.
what you're currently doing. Yes.
Let's do that. What am I currently doing? Nothing.
Well, besides the podcast.
I'm currently on a podcast.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But you teach and you
So
play
I
with
do,
other bands.
Yeah, so right now I'm not really in an original band, although maybe we'll talk about that in a second because I just got something confirmed. But I do a lot of like fill-in stuff.
Okay.
So I fill in for a lot of different Long Beach bands here and there.
Yeah.
Who's the most? I mean,
You were playing with Nothing But Flowers for a while.
so I mean, Nothing Flowers is like the original band, and then we were doing a thing called Soul Cover.
Okay.
It was basically Nothing But Flowers, but
Yeah.
with like Anne Louise.
I saw you at the
Oh, you
at the
guys-
top at
so we were
Shannon's.
playing, yeah. So I mean, for like 3 months, we played every Wednesday at the top.
Nice.
We're not playing there anymore, but yeah, that was awesome for like the whole holiday time. At the top, I've played for a bunch of other people. I do a lot of fill-in work for like just different like. So I'm part of like a Brazilian samba group.
I was gonna ask you about that because I see that you post that and it's so cool because like what was that last one that you posted? You were at some like giant gay event and you're on this huge stage and there's all these lights and stuff. It looks so cool and you're playing this drum. It's like I don't know what is the name of that drum that you were playing?
So that one's called a caixa.
A caixa.
So it's basically like a snare drum.
Okay.
But caixa is the word for it in Portuguese, and it's like a snare drum that you like. It's like you have a strap, so you wear it around you. Like nobody listening can see me doing this gesture, but that's okay. So a lot of like the Brazilian stuff that I do, it's all like percussion stuff. So it's like a lot of time we'd like parade with it and stuff. So yeah, on Saturday that was like a few days ago. That was Saturday.
Yeah. How did you get into that world? Because you feel like as a musician, I don't know about maybe just because I'm from like this punk or whatever world, indie world. But like when I meet a musician, it's because I go to a bar and like they're in a band and I see their band and we're like, oh, let's fucking hang out and jam or whatever. And eventually you start a band. But like I've never been asked by anyone to play like some crazy event like that. Like how did you get into that world?
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, and like I grew up the same way. Like I grew up like really into metal and punk, more metal, and like been in a bunch of like grindcore, death metal bands, all that stuff. That's like my shit. But I went to college for music, so Cal State Long Beach. Studied percussion there. My teacher at the time was really into a lot of different, let's just call it world music, a lot of different things.
Yeah.
One of them was Brazilian, so we had a class. It was half West African drumming, half Brazilian. And when I started that, I didn't know anything about it. Like I forgot Brazil was a country, let's be honest. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, this drumming. So we started learning that stuff, and honestly, I just fell in love with it.
It's fun. It's fun music. It's literally dance music.
It's great.
Yeah. It's party time music.
There's a lot of different styles of Brazilian music. Most people know like samba is like the main thing with like the feathers and stuff, and that's most of what I do. Like this big gay event on Saturday.
Right,
Was that
yeah.
kind of thing.
Because I went through your Instagram to like get more of an
I
idea
love
of
the
like
picture that you picked.
Yeah. Well, the picture that I picked for the Instagram promotion was you like leaning sideways like this. What's that guy? Like a Burt Reynolds style pose.
Yeah.
And then with a bra on. With no shirt. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
But yeah, so I went through your Instagram and I saw that you work with the Brazilian things, and it's like the full costume, like the women with the full-bodied women with the big feathers and all that stuff, and like the dudes are all like, I don't know about shirtless, but like big ruffled open shirts and stuff.
We usually keep our clothes on, but yeah.
Yeah.
They probably on Saturday would have been down for us to be naked.
Sure.
'Cause, like,
naked. If you're
I mean,
in Speedos or what?
no, they would have probably been down. Dude, that club nobody had clothes on. Like, it was just, nobody had a shirt on.
Where was that? What club was that?
Globe Theater in like downtown LA.
Okay.
Actually, super cool spot. I think, I think they said there were like 1,500 people there.
Damn.
And it's like I was in the like balcony up top, obviously, looking down at some point after we had played. It's like you could just see, you could spot like the two dudes wearing shirts. Like, it was like, oh, okay. And just nobody else did. And
Yeah.
we got hired. We got paid to play for 15 minutes.
Okay.
For one set, and it was awesome, dude. It was like,
That's insane.
Braided through
A
this
15
thing, did a
minute
thing
set,
on stage, had like a bunch of dancers with us, and so I've got involved. I mean, with that company called Samba da Mudança, been with them technically since they opened, or like created it. This guy Ali is like a really good friend of mine, started it in LA, and it's actually like a community group, but we do a lot of like private gigs and stuff too outside of it. And so I do a lot of stuff with them, just like random stuff that gets hired. I work with a few different dance companies. So like dancers will just hit me up and then be like, hey, there's like these private events. So it's like, it'll be, anywhere from like 2 to 5 drummers and a few dancers.
Do you have any crazy stories from one of your private events that you can talk about? I'm sure there's some NDA action where you can't actually talk about some of it, but there's got to be a couple stories somewhere.
Let me think for like one second. There's probably a few things I shouldn't say, but nothing. Well, okay. One thing we did was what was it? Nelly. So we did this private party that Nelly was at.
Did he have a Band-Aid on still?
No, he didn't have a Band-Aid on.
Because he used to do that. He used to wear that Band-Aid just on his cheek right here.
He did. He didn't have that, but it was funny. So we did this. It was at like in Encino. It was like it was a house party, like this fucking ridiculously nice house, and it was like a feather themed party. And so, hence, like, why they wanted samba dancers, because like the dancers wear like all these feathers, right? So we get there and like everybody is dressed like these dancers. Like everyone had like these full on like nice like feather, like sparkling costumes, all this stuff. And then at some point, one of the dancers pointed out like, "Oh, hey, I think Nelly's here." And like we're kind of like look over, like trying not to be obvious, looking around. It's like, sure enough, everybody's got all these feather outfits, and then it's just Nelly in like shorts and a white tank top. Like he's the only one not dressed up.
Yeah,
and he was just smoking a fat joint.
Man. He
and
doesn't need to worry about it anymore.
Right, of course,
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about that at all. And
Yeah.
it was hilarious. And then of course later he was just smoking a fat joint, and I was like, yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, of course you
I was
are.
like,
You're
yeah,
Nelly.
You should.
That's fucking funny. I remember one time, I've only played a private party one time, and I got asked by a friend of ours to do a Christmas party for some rich guy who was like, he had this house on ocean, like overlooking the ocean and stuff. It was beautiful. Beautiful house. And I have this fucking, I don't know, I grew up in a poor place. So I like have this weird like against the rich kind of bone in my body,
Sure.
So I played this party, and all these people, it's like everyone's dressed in white. It's Christmas party. Everyone's dressed in white. Beautiful people. And then as the night goes on, I'm getting drunker and drunker, and I just get so bitter. I'm just like, fucking rich people. Ah. And by the end, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to do this again. I can't handle it. I'd rather be in a dirty bar myself. But
me too. Well, it depends on what, I mean, if people are going to pay me to do their things, then I'm down for
you got to
whatever.
make some money. Yeah.
You got to make the money, but I definitely find myself, are we allowed to say a relevance of where we are?
Oh,
Like
what do you mean?
Like the venue that is down the street.
We're near Alex's bar.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. I was like, should I say that?
Right.
Yeah, fucking, that's like my favorite bar in Long Beach.
I love
Alex's bar is the fucking best.
I know so many people who, I meet them and they're like, "Oh, you're from Long Beach. That's cool." And I'm like, "Dude, you gotta come down here. There's so many great things going on here all the time." And then our studio's like right down the street from fucking the best bar in town.
Yeah, dude, Alex's favorite, hands down.
Yeah.
Like best best sound, I would say, out of any venue in Long Beach. And I mean, obviously, it's like they book bigger things than like
right. They
Case
just
Raw's
they
gonna
just
do or whatever,
booked
but
the Damned, which is like a huge band for them to get.
Okay.
And it sold out in 5 minutes. Sold out in 5 minutes.
Awesome.
And then they added a second show, which sold out in 10 minutes or something like that. What? So yeah, they're
I
doing
feel
pretty
bad that
well
I haven't
now.
heard of them.
The Damned?
Yeah.
Oh well, they're like an old
Queen
kind
of
of
the
like
Damned?
no, they're like kind of
Okay.
like a gothy type punk band or something like that. They're from like the 70s or 80s or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like too familiar with them, but I know they're like if you're a punk guy, you just like I gotta see them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, that bar is fucking great. And there's a lot of other bars, but there's always something about the bars that makes them kind of like I don't know if I want to go there. Like Case Raw's, there's no parking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and like the Prospector, there's some parking. It's actually a pretty decent venue. The sound's not that great, but it's a good spot. You know,
Yeah.
it's a little
that's
small.
that's a good dive
It's
spot.
a little tight, so if there's a big band playing, it's like, oh, you're gonna like muscle your way in there or whatever. But the Alice's bar, it's like a lot of room. There's parking. There's street parking. It's great, and the sound's fucking amazing. So
Yeah.
I highly suggest going there if you've never been.
Shout out to Alex's bar.
Right? Yeah, yeah. So you're drumming in the samba thing, and then you also drum in other bands. Because I remember one time you came here to rehearse with a band that asked us to rehearse here. What was the name of that band?
Yeah, that is now I'm having a total mental fart. Flatbush.
Flatbush, yes.
Flatbush. So I don't know how much they want me talking about because we didn't that show didn't end up happening.
Oh, okay.
Which was a huge bummer.
Yeah, because you rehearsed a few times, or
I put a lot of time into learning those songs. Those guys are awesome. I love. You guys should all search for Flatbush, but with 2 T's.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. Like just grindcore, heavy,
yeah.
heavy,
But what's
awesome
cool
shit.
about them is they're like politically active.
Yeah.
About what is it, the Philippines, right?
Yeah, I think the singer, 2 of the dudes are from the Philippines.
Yeah.
At least the singer.
And then I was talking to Brad, who's in that band, and he was telling me briefly about how fucking crazy it is when they go down to the Philippines to perform, and how when they tour through there, they have to tour with the church there because the church will protect them from the
shit,
government.
You never told me about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that because you're just gonna play one show.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Yeah, I just it was
yeah.
supposed to be for one show, and I'm really bummed that didn't happen because it would have been playing at a fucking awesome venue in San Francisco, opening up for like my fucking idol,
Who's
Mike Patton.
okay? Sure, Mike Patton, who
playing
was
for
in
at that it would have been for Dead Cross.
Dead Cross. Okay. Well, what else
people
is Mike Patton in? Because I know he's been.
So his biggest thing was Faith No More.
Faith
is what
No
most people
More.
know that, and
that's
Mr. Bungle.
right. Because they're what's it? Brad works with that guy a lot, right?
I don't know if he's done stuff with them. I think that band and something in the past. Like he's had like a relationship with Mike. Because he used to do well, Mike Patton has his own label called Ipecac Records.
No shit, Ipecac.
Yeah, so
You know what?
that's like Mike Patton's thing.
I just found a band called Daughters, who's
you didn't
on.
just find out about that.
I literally before
what?
you came, I was on YouTube watching videos, just kind of chilling out before anyone showed up, and Daughters came up on my YouTube, and I was like, "What's this? I'm gonna check this out." And I was like, "Fuck, this is awesome!" And then I saw they were on Ipecac, and I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting name for a record."
Wait,
label.
have you
I really
not
never
known about?
No.
Have we not. Dude, I just saw them. Really, we didn't talk about this.
No.
Dude, they're like one of my favorite bands.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You must have been listening to the most recent album because that one's on
No,
Ipecac.
I actually
maybe-
I saw them
one's
on
the original
they were on some Adult Swim.
Oh, did you watch that? I just watched that like
Yeah.
this last week.
Yeah, I just saw that. It must have just come out, so I just saw that, and then I went and I listened to their song, which was really good. It's like probably their hit song or whatever.
Satan in the Wait.
Yeah, Satan and Waiting or whatever.
Wait, yeah,
And yeah, that song was so good.
Oh, dude, man, that's so funny. That album called "You Won't Get What You Want," I think is what it's called.
Okay.
That's their first album. Yeah, they just released it this last year.
Okay.
First album in like 8 years, 7 years.
Oh, so they've been around for a while.
Oh, they've been around for a long time.
Okay.
But they didn't do anything for, I want to say like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And then they came back with that. And yeah,
Okay.
they're one of my favorite. I just went with Adam from
Fox and Bear.
From Fox and Bear and the
Yeah.
Manx. Him and Daniel Chavez.
Okay.
We all went. And then
So you guys are all into that
homies.
band. I don't know if this is the first time
yeah,
I've ever heard about it.
Dude, I gotta say. Okay, when we're done with this,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna play you a little bit. Their very first album
Okay.
is nothing like the one you
I
just
will say
listened
that's often how the podcast goes. It's like once you're hanging out for like an hour doing the podcast, and then afterwards you've been drinking for a while, and so then you end up just like watching videos and fucking, oh, have you seen this shit? That's usually how it goes afterwards.
I should have a note. Daughters. The
Daughters,
first album
yeah.
I'm gonna play. The whole thing. It's, I think it's like 10 songs. Whole album is 11 minutes long.
What the fuck?
And that's like a huge
Well,
instrument.
the song I heard was like it was like a normal length song.
Yeah,
And what
yeah.
I liked about it is that the music was like heavy but ominous, and then the vocals I really really enjoyed because I love that, like it's kind of like bark singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's really good at, I don't know what it's like yelling, but like in a cool way.
Yeah,
like it's not just that
exactly.
yelling where you're like, all right, is this guy
I
done?
don't know
It's
if
like,
you've-
no, I like it.
I don't know if you heard the band Proto-Martyr.
No, I haven't.
They're somewhat similar. I would say maybe they're a little more relaxed than Daughters, but they're still in that same vein where the singer will just be like talking this poetry shit. He's just talking over the song, but it's like with like intensity, you know? It's pretty great.
Yeah. No, that's dude. We'll come back to that.
Did you happen to go to Music Tastes Good this year? This last
I
year?
did. I worked at it a little bit.
Okay. Did you see Sun Kill Moon when they played?
I don't think so.
I
I don't recognize that name.
I'd never seen Sun Kill Moon before, but it was like that same kind of thing where the band's just kind of like doing this backing track, and then the guy's just kind of like doing this thing, this exposition, and it sounded like he was going on a ramble, and he had like notes on him. He had a sheet of paper so he can remember
I was
all
hoping
the
just,
lyrics.
like, on his hand.
It's just
funny.
just tattooed
what
on
are
there.
my words?
It's just like these long stories about, like, there's this one where he goes to Berlin or whatever, and they're touring, blah, blah. And the point of the story is, I was so inspired by that we ended up writing a song similarly that's going to come out way the fuck later. But I just love that style where like someone has the confidence just to come up to you and tell you a fucking story and not worry about trying to be all melodic and like sing-songy, you know?
Yeah, that's Daughters for sure.
Yeah.
So that's cool. We should probably get back to other things, I guess.
Well, that's what,
Maybe.
dude. Literally, the podcast
We're
is just
gonna
rambling.
jump. Yeah,
the
no,
podcast
it's
is
just
just
gonna be
rambling.
rambling.
But you did
That
tell
is
me.
good.
you
Well,
did
it was.
tell-
Oh yeah.
You did tell me before when we were. I was asking. I was at the pre-interview or whatever. We were drinking beers. You did say that you played with Blue Man Group before too.
Yes, I did.
Which is awesome.
I wasn't one of the dudes in Blue. I wish.
You're like the guy on the side.
Yeah. I fucking wish I was one of the ones in Blue. Yeah. So I did. You
didn't blue yourself?
I didn't blue myself.
Yeah.
I tried.
Every guy tries to blue himself.
Every time. You gotta try at
It
least
was that
once.
Marilyn Manson era. You know what I mean?
Didn't he get 2 ribs taken out?
That's what they
So
said. I don't
that's
think
what
that
they
really
say.
happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that happened.
I'm a huge Marilyn Manson fan though.
Okay.
So, but anyways, Blue Man Group. Yeah, I played at the Hollywood Bowl with them.
Okay. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
That was probably like the coolest thing I've ever done. Like hands down. Playing with Sheila E. was also cool. That was also at the Hollywood Bowl, and that was the same year. It was a few years back, but yeah, the Blue Man Group did a thing. They played at the Hollywood Bowl for like 2 nights, doing their own show, and so I got hired to be like in the encore of it. So we played like the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
With this group called Monobloco that
know
like
that.
nobody listening is probably aware of. They're
Yeah.
really big in Brazil.
Okay.
So we got hired to be part of this Brazilian group to do their encore.
I see where the connection
So
is
we were like
there.
a percussion, like
Right.
extras. So we played
Okay.
their whole ending set.
I see.
It was probably more than 10 minutes, but we did their whole ending set, and I got to do that with them.
What do you do when you're playing the Hollywood Bowl and you get there? I'm sure sound check is like what, 4 or something really early.
Yeah, you have to be there. Yeah, early.
So you do a sound check and then what?
Yeah, and you just hang out.
Just hang
that's
out.
That's a funny. Like even the rehearsal was like that, but yeah, it's like sound checks. They do them so early because it's like such a big place and all the checking.
Right, it's gotta
all
sound-
you got
sound
millions
great.
of things to check.
It's not like at the local bar where they're just like, hey, set up before the band or as the band's unloading and we'll throw a mic in front of your amp and just hope it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like so they do a sound check. Yeah, it's like hours beforehand, checking everything. And yeah, I mean that was cool. It's like played to like 10,000 people or like how many does the Hollywood Bowl?
That's
I
fucking
think it's like
crazy.
10,000 people.
Were you like super nervous? Or were you just like pumped? You're like, yes,
No,
let's do
I
it.
was pumped. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a little. I think at that point in time, that was like, well, that's definitely the most people I've ever played to. But I think at that point in time, I hadn't played anything close to that. So it was like going from maybe at the most I played to like 1,000 people for certain events. Maybe that's even a lot. And then it was like going to 10,000. You walk out on stage and it's just like you look up and it's fucking it's super cool, dude, and everybody's cheering for you even though they don't. Awesome. I mean, in that case, like nobody knows who we are, right. But yeah, no, that was cool. And then that same year, I got to play with Sheila E., kind of doing the same type of thing. Like I wasn't like her main. That thing was too. Yeah, actually, I wasn't like her main drummer. That dude, I don't remember his name. I got to meet him because we took the bus with her band. Like, because there's like shuttles coming from Hollywood Bowl down, so we were taking like a shuttle to this other parking lot with her band, and I was chatting with that drummer.
Do you ever get the pre-show jitters? So good. Do you get those anymore?
Okay, so I don't get nervous when I do shows. I haven't for years, except it depends on the type of show. And maybe this will, I guess, segue into the other kind of work I do. Like if I'm doing any sort of rock show, even when I've like filled in for bands, if it's my own thing, I don't get nervous. If I'm filling in for a band, if I feel confident about how much I've like practiced for their stuff, I'm not really nervous. Like maybe a tiny bit, but not really, because it's like rock is just like my thing. Yeah. So it's like it's just comfortable.
Just confident that you can do it.
It's just like you just fucking do it. Right. And hopefully it's like, you know, the best thing, like biggest thing is if you're filling in for anybody or doing any kind of show, like be prepared.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like if you've put in your time and done the work and be like, okay, this is like I've done the best that I can do with the time I've had has been put into this. You just do it and just own it. What was the thing? I do get nervous sometimes, so I sub in musicals. Like musical theater.
Okay.
So I do that too.
I think I saw a photo of you and Nick, and you were working on. Was it like Gene Autry or something?
That was probably the Patsy Cline.
Patsy Cline. Okay, yeah, it was a Patsy Cline musical.
Yeah, so we did that. Actually, we did that musical for like 3 years in a row. Okay. Which is crazy. Yeah, so Nick, I've done a bunch of musicals with Nick. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, what's up, Nick?
Yeah, he still plays bass. We've done a lot of stuff at this theater in Garden Grove. But I will fill in for, other musicals. And, like for that, sometimes I'm nervous because it's like I've done ones where it's like this guy's hit me up for like 2 weeks before the musical and being like, okay, hey, here's this thing, like here's the music, or I'll get the book like 2 weeks before and I'll already be busy with whatever else I'm doing in life, and then just like learning it as, just putting in the time and learning it, and sometimes I'll only run it a few times by myself, or like with like some tracks that are like hopefully a recording of it that he's made. And then it's like now I'm playing it in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah. So
or whatever.
So it's not quite off the cuff, but 2 weeks is not that long to be like super confident about it, especially because you're working your day job and then you're coming home and trying to squeeze some practice in and stuff.
Yeah. Or it's like, I'll maybe go and watch one rehearsal. Like I'll hopefully I'll get to see a drummer do it once, and then I'll see how they do it. But it's different. Like subbing for anything and being a drummer is so much harder than anything else, I would think. I mean, unless you're like the singer, but then you don't really fill in for other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's like the thing, especially with musicals, like musicals are all about the tempos that you're setting. And especially in musicals, you have things where it's changing. Like,
how are you with your tempos?
I hope I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
What's a 120? Do a 120 right now.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Well, 120, you got to think about a march. So it's like dun, 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 dun. Should we check that?
160.
160 is probably like. Well, that was similar to the other tempo, but 160 is
so many musicians.
Like
I feel like so many people who call themselves.
I've gotten pretty good at trying to figure out tempos.
Yeah, well, because
I hope somebody checks those, and they're like, they're fucking way off.
But I will say, well, possibly, but I will say, man, so many musicians don't know how to play to a click, and it's so important to do that because, dude, when you go to a studio, like my ideal situation when you're recording with a band is to be able to play to a click live all together. You know what I mean? Because then you get that.
Wait, that is your goal? Sorry, what did you?
That's my dream. That's my dream is to be able to do that. So like right now, we track separately. We do have the skills to track to a click, which is great. But we track separately for like separation and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But some of my favorite albums are all done in the same room all together.
Like,
and
live
like
tracked together.
Like, there's more of a rawness. I feel like I don't know. Maybe the amps will kind of bleed into each other or something, and it just sounds better to me.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's a funny thing because most of the recordings I've done are like, and like sometimes I get hired to like do recording sessions. It's like, especially with being the drummer, we're the first one to lay it down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, usually, unless the band doesn't know what they're doing, usually there's like guitar, like scratch. There's like scratch guitar and scratch vocals, right?
Yeah.
That I'm recording
There's a little
over.
bit of a demo going.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a demo, so it's like, okay, here's the form of the song.
Yeah.
But it's still just like being that drummer, even whoever you are in the band doing that, it's like you have to give it all that feel. You have to give it everything you can. And you're not listening to the final product. Or you're not, you know, it's not really in there, and you have to do the best you can.
Yeah.
Especially with the drums, where that's like the first thing that's solidly being laid down.
I will say, it's
hard.
As a musician who's started from the bottom and now we're here kind of guy, I've played with a lot of musicians or drummers who, or even just, I don't know, whatever. They can't just play the song. They have to we have to work at the recording. We have to get it, and we have to find the magic track. But then when I got to a certain level, I started working with drummers who I just send them the track, and then they come in, and then it's just like 2 or 3 takes, and it's like done. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, that didn't take a week to record a song. It's amazing. So yeah, good on you for doing that.
I like to think I'm one of those drummers where it's like, yeah, like 2, 3 takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What an I guess this is like a bit of a segue, but what an interesting thing from like the way that recordings used to be for bands like 20 years ago when there were bigger budgets, you know, and like that whole conversation
right
of like
Fleetwood Mac.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where there was just more money with records and everything. But it's like, it's interesting that you used to be able to spend, a band could take like a week or a month.
Right.
To write the whole thing.
Rolling Stones fucking rented a chateau for like 2 months in France and recorded an album. It's insane. And
that is.
And they just were high on drugs the whole time. And then what do we have?
Still turned out good.
We have like a few hours to record an album. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about like just because I follow certain like really big like session drummers and stuff, and some other guitarists and stuff, and it's like, dude, it used to be where you'd have like 2 weeks if you were like a hired gun to learn a thing, and now it's like some of these top drummers that are doing like a lot of the pop shit you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Dude, those whole albums are done in a day.
Yeah,
they'll come in. Yeah, they'll do like an 8-hour session and do a whole like 12-song album.
I remember hearing an interview with Jack White, and he said, "I'll just call someone up at like 2 a.m. and be like, hey, can you be here in like an hour and record a track?" Isn't that fucking crazy?
Oh, dude, that is crazy.
It's insane. I want to ask you a question. JR from Donut Sounds Records is asking, what kind of kit do you have?
Oh, okay. I have 2 kits. The main one I use is a Thomas Star Classic, like a 22 kick, and then I later bought 2 floor toms for it, so I have like 5 toms on it. Okay. I really only use 2, but
yeah, it's like your Neil Peart kit or what?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what I when I bought the kit, it only had a 14-inch floor tom, which is like okay, but it's not. Most people have like a 16, so it's bigger. But the ones mine's a Thomas Star Classic, but it's still from when it was made in Japan, before they started making them in China. So I think it's a little cooler. It's birch. I guess that's probably that's probably part of the answer he's looking for. It's birch. I mean, no, that doesn't mean it's good or not. It's just what it is. And then my other kit is Gretsch, the Catalina Club. Okay, like, that's my smaller one. So I'll do
it's for smaller gigs or whatever.
Yeah, for smaller gigs. So it's an 18-inch kick. It's a smaller kit. So I do that like when I do musicals and stuff. I usually use that kit. And then obviously rock stuff is more Tom. I do that's what I have. What I want to buy, I'm thinking about finally just settling and just buying my dream kit this year.
Which is
a DW kit.
Okay.
There's no like specific one that's my dream kit. It's just DW has always been my dream kit.
Well, what makes them your dream kit?
I'll probably get the Performance series. Dude, something about, and I'm sure, let's just blame it on like marketing and all that stuff growing up. I'm sure that's part of it because I read drum magazines. Dude, I just always grew up and every time I heard something about DW drums, it was like, oh, this is cool. And like I'd always see them at stores and try them out. And I've just been, a lot of friends have DWs and just like tried theirs out. And it's like, dude, this sound is just sounds fucking better than other drums to me. Okay. You know, and it's all opinion.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. they're great.
So there's this thing in guitar where, like, I think Jack White made this popular, where you can play a shitty guitar. If you're a good guitar player, you're gonna make it sound amazing. Is it the same kind of thing with drums?
Oh, totally. Well, 100%. I've seen it live, and I've seen like recordings of like amazing level drummers sit on a shitty kit.
Yeah.
And it's like if I sat on that kit and played it, it's like, yeah, dude, you suck. Or like this kit sounds like shit. And then you could have like Vinny Colaiuta or like I don't know, somebody like some huge great drummer sit on it. Like I think I saw a video of like Mark Juliana. I don't know if any drummers are listening. I don't know if you know who Mark Juliana is.
I don't. I'm not in the drummer world.
That's okay. He did more of a jazz dude, but he also was on the. I want to say he was the last drummer for the last David Bowie album,
Black Star.
Yeah. I think.
It's fantastic.
I hope somebody can call that out if that's wrong. I'm pretty sure Mark Juliana was the drummer on that.
Okay.
Fucking out. Is it wrong to like Google this?
We'll have JB
I'll just do it. Yeah.
JB, can you look that up?
Actually, can you? Because now I'm like, dude, if that's wrong, I feel like then it's like I'm a shitty drummer for having this wrong.
Joe Rogan.
Search drummer for Black Star.
He's our Jamie. I just have him look stuff up when we.
No, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, anyways,
yeah. So yeah. Short part of that, yes. Great drummers, shitty kit, doesn't matter. So maybe I don't need a different kit. I just need to be better.
Well, I'm just asking. I don't know. I just in guitars, like, dude, I go on Offer Up a lot, and I try to find guitars that are like super cheap because I have a guitar that I love.
I'm gonna like.
Yeah, of course. I have a guitar.
I've been like sitting up the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
relax.
Dude, I've been working for the past like 8
Kick back,
hours.
relax.
This is better.
So I have this guitar that I love. It's a Squire though, but it's like it's like mid-level Squire, and I love it. And I've played nice like American-made guitars, and I'm just like, dude, my Squire is perfect. I don't need more than that. And at the same time, I've had really shitty guitars that I love too. You know what I mean? Like you can get like an old Teisco guitar, and it's just like this piece of shit 60s guitar that like doesn't make any sense, and it sounds like shit. But if you can play it, if you can find the right sound for it, it's fucking dope.
Totally. And dude, there's a lot of. I'm gonna try to stop fucking with this because I can hear it. But yeah, and like, dude, especially for recording. I mean, live too, but for recording, there's this huge drummer that I follow, Aaron Sterling. He'll talk about like some of the best recordings he's done are with drums he's had for 20 years where he's never changed the head. Like he hasn't modified it at all, and he's like, I'll never change this head. And
I've heard that about bass players too. They like their really old strings.
Oh, hey, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I could see that it's probably like settled in.
The flat wounds?
Yeah, flat wounds sound better when they're old.
If you just leave them and they're all rusty
for
or
like
what?
30 years, yeah. Well, they don't like tarnish as much as the round wounds, but flat wounds they get all thumpy when they get old.
Oh, I see.
So that's the thing.
So is it like better for soul music or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the drummer for Black Star was Mark Juliana.
Oh yeah. Okay, great. I know something.
Yeah.
Good. I was right.
Okay, you're credible.
Cool, credible. I was good because I was like, because you know that feeling of like trying to be like, this is the thing, and then if there's one person listening, like, no, dude, you're fucking wrong.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I'm not gonna listen to anything you say,
right,
bro.
Then it's like, yeah, okay, good. I'm glad I was right about the Mark Juliana thing. Yeah, which was interesting because he's more of like a jazz guy. But he did, dude. The other musicians, I forget who the guitar player is on Black Star. It's like not somebody you think. It's like someone that does like way different things, but they came in and just
Van Halen.
It's I guess that would be different for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you worked with Blue Man Group.
Oh yeah,
Sheila E.
Just come back that Sheila E. I do a lot of the samba stuff. I do. What are the other current things I do? I also play in an Indian wedding band. Let's talk about this. I don't know if I've told you this.
No, I didn't.
So we're called Bolly Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great punk band name, but yeah, go on.
Bolly Boys, like BOYZ.
Bolly Boys.
But that's what we say all the time. Bolly Boys. It's awesome. I wonder if any of them are listening. Probably not. But Bolly Boys, they actually fun. Let's talk about how I found that group. Craigslist.
Yeah.
So my friend Rishi is the guy that runs the group. We only play at Indian weddings.
Okay.
In Orange County.
Interesting.
So we don't do a lot of gigs a year, but we do several gigs a year, and they're super fun. So we play Bollywood music.
Okay.
But what we do that actually like I don't think anybody else is doing is we play. So we do like it's just drums and then horn players. So we have like 3 trumpets and like a trombone player, and then I play that same drum that I was doing for like the Brazilian stuff. I do that for this group too. And yeah, we just play at Indian weddings. And it's cool. I found it off Craigslist.
What does the music sound like?
Bollywood music is like, I don't know how. I'll play you some after. I don't really know
Okay.
how to explain it.
I remember there was. Is it anything like? What's that guy named? Something Mendy, like Dollar Mendy, I think. Is it anything like that? Like I remember that he had this song that was a meme back in the day, and it was like this almost like electronic song. You know, to be honest, it probably wasn't like Bollywood, but it was such a catchy thing. It was so catchy, but it was also like super cheeseball. And it was, I don't want to do, it's so racist if I do the fucking song, if I try to pull it off. But he had these great fucking moves, you know, like these fucking awesome moves, you know? And then
that looks accurate.
in the music video, he played 4 different earth spirits. So he was like earth, fire, water, and whatever.
Okay.
And he came down to earth and he created earth in this fucking video. It's so cool.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'll play you some for like a second after.
Sure.
It's cool. It's fun. Those gigs are like fun. So we only play. There's a part of it called a barat.
Okay.
So it's like the groom meets the bride.
Okay.
Side, and they take in India they'll actually be on an elephant. But here in the U.S. nobody really does that. They'll be on a horse.
Hard to rent an
So
elephant.
it's hard to rent an elephant.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard to
I
rent
know
a horse.
from firsthand experience.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Bundy should get an elephant on your next show.
We tried.
Yeah? Wait, did you really? No.
No,
Okay.
of course not. No.
I know
What
a
if
guy
you
with an
guys
elephant.
did?
Huh?
I got an elephant guy. You want one?
You got, yeah, you got him.
got his
Yeah,
number?
dude, give me that.
Yeah, I'll get
give me
one.
that number.
Give me those digits.
Let's get. How cool would that be? A
And
rock show with the elephant at it,
And trying
just fucking hanging
trying
out.
to play at 4th Street Vine with trying to get that elephant through the door.
Would you could. Dude, I love the thought of an elephant just in like because 4th Street Front, right where the band plays, there's only a little bit of room in front.
Yeah.
Right, it's just filled by an
Takes
elephant.
the whole room.
So there's
Even
like 3 other
even
people.
a baby
and then
elephant wouldn't fucking fit through that door, man. Those things are huge.
It's true.
So anyway, so you
Anyways.
rent a horse.
So they rent the horse, and then everybody dances. The groom side dances around the horse.
Okay.
And then the horse makes its way to the bride side, which is like where like the ceremony is going to be. So we only play for those takes like 30, 40 minutes. And we just play, just like this like super upbeat stuff, and everyone just parties.
Right. These are, so
and it's fun.
these are still arranged marriages, right? So like they haven't met. Is that,
it's a mix. I think I've done some where it was still an arranged marriage, where they had met like they had met a few times, but it was like the parents decided that they're getting married. It wasn't like they were seeing each other for the first time at the wedding, but it was like. I think pretty sure this is arranged.
I thought that was super interesting. That was a thing. I don't really necessarily. Not that I don't understand it. Like I get it. Like that's a cultural thing. I just we live in such a modern world now where it's like you can literally go on Tinder and be like, hey, what's up, bitch? You want to fuck up? But you know what I mean?
Like you want to fuck up? Is that how you?
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, you want to fuck up?
You want to fuck up by hanging out with me? Yeah.
I get it.
But then some of these they're still holding on to this culture that in America even. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah, no, same. I guess my opinion would be I'm glad I don't have to have an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
But I will say, to take their side, I feel like there probably is something to the fact that we have
because
or that most people have so much choice.
Yeah.
That it's like then we can be like, nah, I don't want to pee with this person. Yeah, I'm picky. I don't want this.
totally.
But if it's arranged, it's like you just fucking have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You just have to make it happen.
I've-
So maybe it's better that way.
I have heard.
Maybe we're all fucking up.
I have heard that those marriages last a long time. So, but also culturally, they're not really supposed to break up. So I don't really know how it works. Interesting.
I don't either.
The
It is
divorce
interesting.
rate, who fucking knows? Yeah. But anyways, so we're gonna go into the shout out segment. This is the segment where you get to shout out anyone you want, any of your coworkers in music or people who have influenced you, or any bands that you want people to listen to.
Oh, or bands I want people to listen to.
Yeah.
I see you. Oh, who are shout outs? I don't know how to shout out. Geez. Well, okay, people to listen to. Well, Daughters. We're going to come back to that.
Sure.
You guys should check out Daughters. Who are the people that should listen to?
Think of my favorite way to think
You
about
put
it.
me on the spot.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
ready
know.
for this. I'm
I
like,
always do. I always do.
dude.
My favorite thing is to just shout out people that are like in your life, like
my
so
life,
and so
yeah.
who I work with and blah blah.
Yeah. Dude, okay, a lot of props. I work with really cool people at School of Rock. I'm going to say that. This dude, Jake, that I was just talking to, John Clardy is super cool. Even though I don't talk to him, he's a drummer for Terra Mellos.
I love Taramelos.
Yeah, so the drummer for that band teaches at my
He's
job.
teaching?
Yeah, he teaches.
What is he, a drummer or what?
He's a drummer. So the drummer for that band teaches at School of
Fuck
Rock.
yeah.
But dude, that
why
guy's
would you not
super
want to
cool.
get taught by that guy? You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, let me just put it this way, Mike. If you were like, well, Michael Malinowski could teach you, or the guy from Taramelos could teach you. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I
some
was just
stiff
subbing for him today.
competition.
That's where I
Okay.
just came from.
Not that you're not an amazing drummer. I'm just saying.
No, it's all good. Dude, That guy, like, I really like talking to him. It really has nothing to do with the fact that he's a drummer for Taramelos. It's like he's so knowledgeable about drums, and like I'm pretty knowledgeable about drums, and I'll talk to him about stuff, and it's like, oh shit, like I don't know anything.
Yeah. That's how I feel about everything, to be honest.
I wouldn't talk to anybody. Dude, I really like. Okay, then shout out to Kevin, from School of Rock. I feel like him and I are homies now. He's the drummer for Retox.
I don't know Retox.
Do you know the Locust?
The Locust, yeah, sure, from back in the day, yeah.
So yeah, that's from back in the day. So that guy Justin Pearson,
Okay.
that was like his part of his thing.
Oh,
Justin
okay,
Pearson
okay.
still does a lot of other things, and this guy Kevin is like his drummer.
I don't know the Locust
guy's
music
super
that
cool.
well, but I had a coworker that was into the Locust. He even had apparently they had a belt buckle, like a metal belt buckle with like the logo and stuff. And he was really into them, and so he would play his records at work. And my boss fucking hated it. He hated it because it was just like, whoa, and all this noise and shit. You know?
Yeah, they're obnoxious as fuck.
And my boss is like into mod music, you know. He's into like, the Who and stuff like that. So for him, it was like torture on the ears. But yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, shout out to them. I think I'm probably just thinking of that because it's like I just came from School of Rock, so I'm like thinking about that. Shout out to Adam because I was listening to Sweet Dreams Priscilla's podcast.
Yeah, we
that
had
was
them on
here.
a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, hung out with him a lot recently. The Doghouse,
What's
which is
the
like
Doghouse?
they know, like Daniel Chavez's house. Everyone that
Oh,
lives
that's
in
what
that
they call
house?
their house.
That's
I
what we
didn't know
call
that.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Because those are like my best friends, and they've been there for me for like everything.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. Like
Chavez
Nick,
is cool.
Malila, Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Katie Joe,
Yeah.
the
You know,
Mijos.
D-Shav actually offered to give me a guitar lesson. It didn't work out the day we scheduled. I'm hoping to get him back into it because I would love to know how to play guitar. But
You're awesome at guitar.
well, I know how to make a song. I don't know how to like do things. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just kind of like make it up. But I also hit up Malila today because she gives piano lessons.
Yes.
And I've been dabbling on the piano for maybe like 6 months now, and I'm like, it's time for a lesson. It's time to get on there. You know,
Dude, she's
amazing.
incredible piano player.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She's tried to help me because I play. We've talked about because I teach piano a little bit too.
Okay.
I only do beginners because I'm not good at piano.
Oh, maybe you should
but
teach
I know,
me then.
Dude, I'm probably really good, honestly. Like, because I know my theory really well.
Okay.
But I can't play anything cool.
See, I've never learned theory, man. Like, I know, okay, there's like, what, 12 in a scale or some shit? I don't know. That's as far as I know. Like, I can play a chord. I know.
You're just now learning. You're like, I think
you
there's
know,
12 notes total. I don't know.
When I'm looking at a piano, I can be like, all right, there's the G note, and then you skip one, then you hit that one, and then you skip one, and then you hit that one. That's a fucking G minor or whatever, you know.
Yeah, okay.
I really don't know anything
That'd be
about
teenager.
anything about music. Well, all I do is I get people who are actually good, like JB and my drummer and my guitar player.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you guys are awesome.
here's an idea I have, and they just help me make it happen. You know what I mean?
Do you just show them your hair?
Yeah, I just walk
And then that's
in.
probably how you walk. Like, because right now I'm looking at no one else can see this, but I'm looking at your hair, and it's I think it's the exact angle of the lights and stuff on it. Because it's like you have the like turquoise blue thing.
Yeah.
But it's like something about the lighting of it, and it's like I'm thinking of like mermaids right now, and I would if you walked up to me and I was sitting behind a drum set and you were like, we need to write a song, I would look at you'd be like, just look at my hair,
Just inspire you.
and I would be like, we're gonna write like a surf tune. I don't know.
I'm just a leader. That's all I know how to do.
Hey, that's valuable.
It is valuable. You know, my brother, he's really good at getting people together to create things, but he is terrible at like actually creating that thing by himself. But when he gets in a room with people and he knows exactly what the roles are going to be and he makes it happen, you know what I mean? That's kind of a producer, I suppose.
I think that is a producer, but that's a super valuable skill to have. I mean,
Because you can be an amazing shredder and not know how to write a song, to be honest.
of course, and and vice versa and stuff. No, that's dude, it's super valuable. And lately, I've been so on a kick of just like creativity. Like, I mean, I do obviously we talk, like I do a lot of fill-in stuff because I'm not really in an original band. Although actually, I guess I will say it because it just got confirmed. Because this won't be. I know it's live right now, but it won't be on your podcast for like some amount of time.
Weeks, sure.
A few weeks, yeah, perfect. So I play Nothing But Flowers. Mm-hmm. We just confirmed we're going to be playing an original show.
Okay, so you guys are back
for one show.
Okay,
we're not like I don't really like want to get into all that, but like we're not really doing original shows anymore. That we haven't played in like 7 months.
Okay.
Because we like the main like me, Heather, and Roland have been doing cover stuff. Like we've been playing at Tantalum.
That's
like
how you get paid.
We do it for paid stuff. We've been playing at Tantalum for the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like almost every Tuesday.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was like, "All right, cover bands, you all get a couple $100 each," and then the original band goes, "Wait, y'all got paid?"
Dude, for trying to get work, it's a thing, but it's like there's less creativity. That's the thing.
True.
But dude, April. I hope because you said this won't be released for a few weeks, right? So we'll have a flyer by then. April 20th. Nothing But Flowers is doing an original music. It's been 7 months. We're playing with Sweet Dreams Priscilla.
Okay, very cool.
Adam's band, they keep changing what they're trying to call their genre. Gypsy, jazz, folk, something. Yeah. Really cool jazz band. Check them out. We're playing at the Barn.
Oh,
what it is?
You're playing at the Barn.
Yeah, I don't even know this place yet.
Oh, it's great.
I'm sure I will by the time somebody else listens to this.
The Barn is kind of a secret place.
That's what.
It's in a neighborhood.
It's like a barn.
It's basically these people, they have this beautiful house. Like this is a dream house you would want to own. And
okay. I'm stoked.
They built a garage, which they have a stage and a little bar and tables and stuff. You can't seat a lot of people in there. It's maybe like, I don't know, 10, 12 people in the inside, but then people stand on the outside and they watch. And there's a stage and it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
It's a great.
we're gonna bring people.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's a fantastic place,
dude. Yeah, so we're gonna be playing there, on 420. So that'd be cool.
Okay.
So look out for.
So bring your hookahs.
There you go. I was like, for more updates, I don't know, follow me or Nothing But Flowers music.
Yeah, and your Instagram is MF Malinowski, which you can see in the description of the video. You can find all the links to your stuff. Okay, so we're going to close the podcast pretty soon.
Okay.
And I always like to ask two pieces of, well, the first one, I say, if you can tell us a musician's horror story, something that happened to you where you were at a show, some crazy story, or a show that you went to that was just fucking nuts.
Oh, man, I wish you told me this ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. I should probably do that because every time I have people on here, they're like, oh, fuck. All right. What can I say?
Because I would probably have something like really great if I thought about it. Mm-hmm. But now I'm sure my story's going to suck. The first one you said was what?
If you had
either either like my own horror story, right. And the other thing you said was,
or maybe
I've seen something.
Yeah, maybe you were at a show and like a fight broke out or something crazy. You know?
Oh, I see. I haven't been in a stabbing, but I know this isn't the way to start that.
I actually know.
The reason I say this is because I'm really into like punk and metal music, and I've been to a lot of like just warehouse like underground shows, and they've always been cool. Nothing's happened, but it's like I've also like been like, oh, there was that show I wanted to go to and I didn't go to it, and then later found out that it was like, dude, somebody fucking got stabbed,
right,
or something, and it's like, fuck, like, okay. But anyways, wait, let me.
Did I hear a story about you playing at Clancy's and someone had a knife? Was that you?
That was not me.
Okay.
I've played at Clancy's.
Someone told me a story. Someone told me a story that somebody
knife.
Across the street was getting robbed, and then like a whole bunch of people just ganged and chased him, and then the guy pulled out the knife and they ran away or some shit like that. It was like weird.
Whoa.
Yeah. But that was
man, no. Oh man, I'm. Dude, watch the second we end this, I'm gonna be like, oh, here's a story I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But a horror story of mine. I mean, I will say I've been pretty fortunate with gigs I've done that like nothing like super crazy has happened. It's a good horror story. Nothing really horrible. I mean, I did a cover gig once. I'm gonna explain this short story while I try to think of a better one. I did a cover gig once where like, I mean, it was my first time playing with this certain person. And it was like a pretty well-paying gig. So I was like pretty stoked on it. And I like got there and I forgot my snare stand. But there was no other way with the gear that I had that I could have like made that happen. And so, I mean, luckily I realized it. Like, I got there super early because I was like prepared and everything.
So you had to go back and get the.
So my roommate, no, luckily, because the gig was also in Long Beach, my roommate was home. And I called him and I was like, dude, I have the biggest fucking favor in the world. Like, I need you to go into the garage, grab this thing for me. So he was able to bring it like right in time.
Nice.
Like, he brought it, and then like I was like, dude, I'll buy you however many beers you want. And he brought it like, I think with like 3 minutes to spare.
Fucking perfect.
Before the set started.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Just stressing
thank
the
God. I
whole
mean, it's like I
time.
could have like, I guess you could, like, I could have put it on like a chair.
Sure.
Or something. Like, but it would have like,
Yeah.
the person would have been like, dude, I'm not fucking calling you again. Like, you
Yeah.
fucking, like, where the fuck's your snare stand, you
Yeah.
know? And that's the only time that's ever happened. But that happened. Fuck.
Well, we can move on to the next one if you can't think of something.
Yeah, what was, there's a second question.
There's the second question.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe the first one will come back to me.
Okay, and this is the question we're going to close the show with. If you have any musicians' advice, so a lot of people, I like to ask them for advice for any musicians that are listening. So it could be a practical piece of advice. It could be something like, always bring for a guitar player, always bring a backup guitar, or always double check and make sure you have your snare stand. Or it could be something more inspirational, like something that you learned in your career that keeps you driving.
Yeah. Well, okay. I can answer this quicker than the other one, so maybe I'll be able to come back. I would say, especially because like I've been on this. This whole last year for me was just super fucked in a lot of ways, and made me think about music, life, all this stuff. And so, bigger inspiration would be like, yeah, don't forget your snare stand and all those things. But like, I mean, maybe it's a little cliche, but it's like, dude, stay true to you. Like, do the thing that you love. And it's like, I do a lot of different cover things. And I do a lot of stuff that pays, and it's super cool, and I definitely enjoy like most of it. But it's also a thing that like I'm now starting to write my own music, and I don't know. It's just like playing drums in general. That was all I've ever wanted to do for like a young age, and I'm super happy I'm doing that. So it's like, just fucking do the thing you love. Or in terms of like trying to figure out like, because I play so many different styles of music, it's like, I don't know, just stay true to the thing that you love.
Okay,
And
cool.
like don't worry about the money. I guess that's the thing. And like a lot of other people say that, so I'm not necessarily original in that thought. But it's like, I've definitely found that if you're trying to like, if you're stuck between the thing of like, oh, I could do this thing that I really want to do, or this thing that makes money, it's like, dude, fuck it. You're not going to be as happy with the thing. You might make money, but it's like, if you just do the thing that you're wanting to do, you might end up making money in it. Or if you put enough time into that thing, like when I first started going to college, and I'll make it short. When I first started, I wasn't going to be a music major. I didn't go to college to be a musician. I was going to be a psychologist. And after one semester, I said, fuck it. And I was like, let me just audition for the music department. And my plan was just always do music on the side. Because I was like, well, I love it. And now it's like, dude, it's all I do. Like, I only teach and play music. And it's like, I'm happy. Like, I don't really care how much money I make, even though I still make money. But anyways, just stay true to that.
Just keep on trucking.
Just keep on trucking.
Keep on doing your thing, baby.
Keep on cellar door. I don't know why that just came to me. It doesn't relate to this really at all.
Cellar door? What do you mean?
Cellar door. It was apparently
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why that just popped into my head.
Some like author said that was like the most beautiful saying of all time or something.
Yeah, it was like the most two beautiful words put together.
Yeah.
Or something was cellar door. Yeah, some author said that. And for some reason that popped into my head, so I'm going to say cellar door.
Cellar door.
Random as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like that someone else got it, though. It's like,
all right. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You can find him on Instagram at MF Malinowski or at soundcloud.com/MF Malinowski. We can find his music on
or
there.
my YouTube. You should say that.
Your YouTube. What's your YouTube URL?
Malinowski Percussion. I think youtube.com.
And you do like drum demos on there or something?
I have a lot of drum covers.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot
Very
of stuff
cool.
on there.
And I want to give a quick shout out again to our Patreon supporters. These are the people that help us keep this show going. If you like what you saw and you want us to keep doing this thing that takes up a lot of our time, a lot of our money, then you can go to patreon.com/BundyLBC. Thank you so much to Allison, Anthony, Brenda, Donut Sounds Records, Darian, Frederico, George, Gustavo, Jairo, Julio, Manny, Marvin, Miguel, Paul, and Shane. Thank you guys so much. You help us keep the lights on, and that means a lot to me.